Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Smiling Mr. O. But why?
me, Banshee, and Bly.
Makes three.
So why is Bly here? It must be the
unhappy
unhappy hour. So, we gotta deal with the difficult challenges we face in life that make us sad or unhappy or blue, and we want to try to turn those frowns upside down, don't we, Miss
We
Frown?
do this show once a month when the moon moves into its final quarter, and it's a way of looking at what those moon energies are doing to us and how we can resolve to turn that frown upside down.
Okay, let's get going.
All right, so this reading is for the elemental signs of the Zodiac,
And
but we also...
the world.
The world.
What's making the world unhappy? Oh, come on. Nothing should be making the world unhappy.
So we're going to start off with the air signs. Gemini,
Yes.
Libra,
And
Aquarius.
were you waiting for me?
Well, it seems like we keep on a rush into the line, so...
It's true. It's true. We're always fighting for who gets to say that, it seems to me. All right, why don't you shuffle and cut them, Mr. O?
But as you can see, the unhappy hour is a slight misnomer. It's a little bit of a fun pun, because what we really want to do is try to help you work your way through this.
Well, the happy hour is all about what makes us happy in the week ahead. The unhappy hour talks about, from fourth quarter moon to fourth quarter moon, what we might be struggling with, what's making us feel blue, what difficulties do we have to face, and how best to turn them around.
All right, so here we go. And once again, that's for the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
All right.
Question 1. What is or will be making the air signs unhappy right now?
Oh, did we mention? All the cards are read in reverse.
Ah, yes.
And lo and behold, I don't really know that this would be making them unhappy. It's the Nine of Swords reversed.
Okay, we got to spin it.
Well, I would just say this first off as a joke, or take it for what it's worth, air signs. But if you are gluttons for punishment, you might be unhappy that some of your fears have proven not to be true. Maybe you wanted them to be true for some reason, but you realize now that whatever's been keeping you up at night wasn't so bad after all. Now, I don't know, maybe you were trying to elicit sympathy or support from others, and maybe now I think that things are different.
Maybe we are unhappy because we realize other people are suffering more, and we're commiserating with them in a way, but we don't exactly feel that. We just feel bad for other people. It affects our own happiness too, if it's somebody close, especially to us, or somebody that we find we cannot really help.
That almost seems like, the U.S. Some people might be feeling sorry for people who are stuck in detention that don't really deserve to be, and things like that. The children that are being detained, maybe that's making people feel, anxious. But still, this is reversed, Mr. O. And so I'm not sure. I just sort of feel here that we are detaching from our fears right now. Well, that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. Maybe we're letting down our guard when we really shouldn't be.
Well, to some degree, there's sort of like a null space going on here where maybe the unhappiness is because we think we should feel something, but maybe we're not.
That could be too. That could very well be. So,
all right, card two. How are we, or the air signs that is, will be dealing with this unhappiness?
Well, it's the Ace of Pentacles reversed.
Ah.
Well, I feel here that, maybe because you're confused, about these fears and that they're not real, maybe you're still a little bit hesitant to get something off the ground, to get something started, because you still have your doubts that your fears aren't real. You're still maybe kind of in a nexus here, in an in-between space, like you had suggested, and you're afraid to initiate anything at this time unless you can be more sure of yourself.
Boy, I think that one really hits the fan, as they say. It could very well be that we are purposely making delays or putting little obstacles in front of us just because we don't want to commit to anything else. It's almost like maybe we're holding space for that confused feeling, or that feeling of what should we be feeling, and we're holding space for that, but nothing is really developing. It's just sort of a null space once again.
You know, and as I look at that Nine of Swords again, I think to myself, maybe the deal is we're starting to realize our fears aren't grounded in reality, but we can't let go of them anyway. I mean, wow. I think that might be what it is. So let's see.
Card 3. Are these feelings justified that the air signs are having?
For the air signs. Well, it certainly is roiling you emotionally. You have the Queen of Cups reversed. So yes, they may be justified, or it just may be your emotions are getting the better of you right now. So I'm a little mixed bag on this one. It could just be because I feel like some of these fears you should be able to let go of, but you're not. It's maybe because your emotions are, getting the better of you here.
We're doing the air signs, and I have to ask, are we right around the corner from another Mercury retrograde?
Yes, at the end of February.
Because oftentimes that seems to affect air signs maybe a little bit more in a way, because it's about the thinking thing, the thinking value. And when I look at that Queen of Cups reverse there, I think that once again, there's a confusion here. We maybe feel like we should either lash out or nurture our stuff in a melancholy way. We're not really sure, but we feel there is something going on that justifies our feelings, but maybe it's how we think we are moving to the response.
So, air signs, how can you turn that frown upside down? Well, it's the Magician reversed. And I feel here that the only way you're going to be able to turn this frown upside down is by addressing, the fact that those fears aren't real anymore. Is by putting yourself, back in control of the situation. If you keep holding on to these false pretenses, you won't be able to accomplish anything. You have to pull it together. You have to pull it together.
This card suggests a really, really big shakeup is needed. The Magician is out of tricks in a way and may have to rely on something that's more reality-based.
Right, reality-based.
It's kind of funny because
like that.
Many years ago, we both knew a street magician who used to act at a theater we went to, and his act was basically putting up some building blocks and knocking them down and saying, build them up and knock them down, over and over again. And I think he was talking about the state of the world in the way, too, that we create and we destroy or take it apart. And do we really understand what we're doing? I know, I kind of tangented there.
A little obtusey there, but okay. So what do we got? Let's recap this for the air signs. Maybe it'll make more sense. I feel the air signs are holding on to fears that aren't valid. You're using these maybe as an excuse.
Ooh.
As an excuse not to start anything new, not to put in some effort on some goals that you had. It's a great excuse out, these self-doubts or these fears that you have, but they're not real. They're not real. So I guess I covered them both if you want to.
Right, I have no problem with that. Okay. I sort of feel like that you nailed it there. We are maybe over-imagining or not dealing with what's really causing this problem. We may be thinking it's something else. And all of that could just be excusing our lack of wanting to really address any of that.
And air signs, are your feelings justified? Well, it's debatable to me because you're holding on to fears that aren't valid for whatever reasons here. So I feel like you're allowing your emotions to get the better of you, yes, and you're emotionally unbalanced at this time. Maybe that's why you just are fearing starting something new. You just don't have your heart into it like you should.
I don't think your feelings are really justified here, because I think when you have that Queen of Cups reversed energy, you are really kind of a brat. You're just kind of seething.
Ooh.
And you don't really want to get better in a way. You just want to sort of nurture your bitter feelings until they finally do move away.
And finally, how do you turn that frown upside down? Really, by pulling yourself together here. I think head, heart, all of it. You have to be together here, and you have to focus on, is this, if you're really just trying to avoid doing some work or getting something off the ground, I guess you have to get down to it and decide if you really want to do this to begin with, because maybe you don't, and you're putting all these excuses there so you don't have to.
The Magician reverse could really just be saying, you have to learn how to apply the talents you really do have towards us rather than negating them or, just being bitter in a huff. You have to really work at your tricks.
And you know what else? That's funny you say that, because I was just going to add to the Magician here is, okay, you want to turn this around? Then stop fooling yourself.
Ooh.
Stop fooling yourself that these fears are valid. They're not. So, the Magician has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, right? But you know what? Your tricks are fooling yourself here. So, good luck with that, air signs.
All right. Very good. So now we'll move on to the fire signs.
Oh my goodness, the fire signs. Start to get them off there.
Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Oh, I'm yawning, Mr. O. I stayed up too late to watch the Olympics.
Yes, it seemed like you were up a long time. I'm not even sure when you came.
I'll never tell.
And then I got up early to go to my appointment, so that probably momentarily woke you.
Well, it did, but I wanted to get up around that time anyway, so it was all good. Okay, so we're doing the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Goodness. All right, one more. Yeah, cut. Having problems here today. All right.
All right, card one for the fire signs. What is or will be making them unhappy right now?
What?
Well, in this context, we might have to make it a little worse, but oftentimes the sun is not an incredibly bad card.
Right.
It could mean that, we're unhappy because we didn't get the ultimate happiness that we really thought we were going to get.
I think little things are making you unhappy right now, fire signs. You're letting little things upset you because really things
Boy, that sounds so true of fire signs.
Maybe Leos and Sagittarians. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you guys under the bus, really. But he's picking on me. Anyway, so the sun here reversed indicates to me that maybe it's just little things that you're allowing to bother you when really you shouldn't. Everything is not bad right now. Why are you letting the little things get under your skin? I guess we're going to find out.
All right, so card two, how are the fire signs dealing with this or will be dealing with this?
Aha.
And it's the Eight of Cups reversed.
By doing nothing. By staying where they are.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, that's not a bad thing in a way to me, because things aren't really that bad right now. So, don't start looking for trouble where there is none. I think here you need to just sort of stay where you are, and maybe that's a good thing. And hopefully by the end of this reading, if all goes well, you'll realize that this was nothing to get upset about.
Yes, it's kind of like, I don't want to say this, but it almost seems like fire signs, they are only mildly unhappy this month.
And I would say this, maybe it's a constructive thing they're doing here, because if they have these little upsets, the Eight of Cups seems to indicate staying where you are or moving back to finish something. Like you need to go back because you've left something undone. And so maybe that's what the problem is here. You need to finish something up before you can move forward. And you're going to do that. And if you are, that's a very constructive approach.
So card 3, then, why are your feelings justified?
Ooh.
Could be that maybe this hit somewhere in a foundational level of your emotional landscape. So it's something that maybe was about your family situation or close friends, or maybe just about something that sort of made you feel like you weren't as important in a structure as you thought you were, from that emotional point of view.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I thought it was too.
Well, your feelings may be justified because you're disappointed in not finishing something. The Ten of Cups is usually a card of completion and joy in feeling like there's a happily ever after now. And you don't feel that way. These little petty things are bothering you. And so you need to go back and finish them. Now, if this could be about a relationship, I can't rule that out. Maybe it's possible here, that you've allowed some little things to build up in a relationship, and you need to take care of them instead of walk away from them. But, you're irritated by all of this and the fact that, it wasn't done to begin with. That it's even a problem you have to deal with.
Therefore, we must turn that final card. How will the fire signs turn their frown upside down?
Well, it's a Three of Pentacles reversed. Well, I think that you may have to consider the benefits of letting somebody work with you on this. In other words, if this is a relationship or a family issue, everybody should be participating in this. It's not just you fixing something. Everybody's got a role to play here. I don't know. What do you want to say about that?
Well, at least 3 of those cards do have sort of a lean towards family or group situations and or the resulting happiness that can be had from that. So when I look at the Three of Pentacles reversed, this could be saying that sometimes we have to let some people make mistakes that we think they're making, or that maybe we have to allow ourselves to make certain mistakes because we're not working in unison with everyone else. And so sometimes maybe we do have to step out a little bit and learn for ourselves.
Well, that's true. Sometimes maybe we have to walk away ultimately from the issue and go it alone, rather than try to work it out with others. It's a tough call here, especially with that Ten of Cups reversed. So I guess as I recap this, I'm going to want to look at this 2 ways. For you fire signs, you're letting little things get under your skin. You're letting little things bother you. Maybe little annoyances that your partner or family members are doing, not keeping up with the work in the house, whatever the case may be. And you're letting them make you get really upset and unhappy. And, how are you dealing with it? you're dealing with it by realizing there's something that has to be said or done. There's still something that has to be said or done here, some action that needs to be taken. And so, I think in a sense that is constructive rather than just sitting here angry, maybe staying and doing something about it instead of leaving. And I mentioned that further on. I'm going to rethink that, I think. That may be the answer. What do you say?
When I look through this, I sort of agree with you. I sort of feel that some of this shows the progress of maybe feeling like you're not connected or you're disappointed by somebody in the gestalt there. And so ultimately, you may have to find room for yourself to move on, not necessarily without them caring about you, but just sort of as a stand of, personal independence, i.e. you're not necessarily going along with the consensus with something, perhaps, is what this is about. And maybe that's what, you had strong feelings about it, but you are able to still move on and perhaps work on some of this at another point.
So, are your feelings justified? It's really interesting. I do feel this is going to involve you, fire signs, and other people. And I think here with the Ten of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, they're kind of forming this idea to me that, you're not working together well with others. You're not communicating maybe well with others. There's disagreements in, the ways things should be handled or gotten done. There's disagreements in even maybe what this initial argument is. Maybe some of the family members are wondering why you are so upset about little things and to quit being so picky. So what it amounts to here is respect for each other and learning to work together, trying to learn to work together to turn this around. And I think that would go a long way into making those petty little things that have been adding up diminish.
I think you kind of got it.
All right.
All right.
So, Mr. O, I
Fire
think
signs?
you shuffle first. Wait, no, I
did
shuffle
last
first.
time.
Yeah.
So you're back.
So, all right. So I'm shuffling first
Water.
for the water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and
Pisces.
We're almost entering Pisces season pretty soon.
Yes, I know that's right.
Do you notice we didn't have
About
many
12 days or so.
Aquarius birthday readings to do on our show?
I have noticed.
Yeah, so I don't know.
In fact, since about a month ago, birthday readings have just died down.
Well, January was a bit busy. December and November were really, and October were really crazy. That's right. So if you come to our live show around your birthday, tell us when it is. We will do a birthday reading for you for free.
We need to schedule in advance, though, so we can't do it on the day that you tell us.
Right.
We'll have to put it ahead at least one show.
All right. Shuffle and cut. And we'll get this going for the water signs. Back here, Bly.
Okay, water signs. What is or will be making you unhappy right now? And that would include me, since I'm a Scorpio.
It's the Eight of Wands reversed.
No mojo.
Feeling spent, are you, Scorpio? Well, not Scorpios. Water signs? Feeling drained of energy? Or have you been missing the mark? Have you been not focusing your attention where it really needed to be? And now you realize that this multitasking is a evil thing, like I've always said. If you allow too many things to interfere, what you really want to get done sometimes just doesn't get there.
Well, for water signs, it could be like something like maybe, a hangover where you just sort of don't really feel like doing anything, or you don't really find you have the energy to do something. This makes you unhappy. It may be conflicting with what you thought was going to be a more energized period, or a period where you were really focusing your goals, but for some reason you can't seem to, and that bugs you.
And the other thing about this card is communication. Maybe you're not connecting with important people during this period that you
True.
really need to connect with. Delays, or they're just unavailable, or you've been ghosted. Whatever the case may be, it's not working and it's frustrating. So let's see where the cards lead us. So,
Card 2. How are the water signs dealing, or will be dealing, with this unhappiness?
well, maybe you've been scattering your energy so much because the Six of Wands reversed is here. You're not getting a lot of support from others right now. You almost feel like you're carrying the weight of the world, and you're rushing and struggling to try to keep pace and get everything done because everybody around you is just kind of oblivious or not supporting you at this time.
There could be differing reasons. Maybe somebody just doesn't like working with you, or maybe somebody really has other things to do, but somehow you are left with this idea of trying to do these things, and they may be things about your own projects or projects you're collaborating with, but it's on you to do this, and you just feel that maybe keeping yourself busy will take your mind off of that first card.
Well, the other thing is this also fixed the communication aspect. Is people are avoiding you because they don't want to help you with something, or they just don't want to see you at this time. They've got, other fish to fry, so to speak. So they're avoiding you, and you're trying to get a hold of them, and you can't get their help or assistance, or, speak to them like you would like.
Card 3. Why are the water signs' feelings justified? Or, in fact, are they?
Temperance.
Reversed.
Well, you just feel like things are out of control in your life. The balance isn't there. You're feeling emotionally unsettled because you feel unsupported, or that people don't want to talk to you, people don't want to help you out, and you feel like all of this energy that you had to put out there has drained you dry.
Basically, temperance reversed is about the lack of moderation, and maybe your feelings are justified because you just feel no one really is feeling any kind of group spirit or any kind of camaraderie towards, the issues you face together. And so it's making you happy because you can't seem to find that plateau, that even plateau that everyone can sort of, agree on.
All right.
Card 4.
How do you
we turn that frown upside down?
It's the Two of Swords. So
there could be a little bit going on with that.
Well, I just think you have to make a choice or a decision here. Are you going to keep allowing people to ignore you, unsupport you, etc., or are you going to take action to correct that? This is a decision time. Like, for example, if this is a job that you feel very unsupported at, are you going to stay, or are you going to do something about it? Maybe walk away. Are you going to say no to people now that you have enough on your plate and that maybe they should take care of something instead? That's another option. I think here too that this idea that people might not be available to you, are you going to keep trying to rely on people who aren't reliable? So the bottom line is make the tough choices to make some moves and changes.
I being a water sign, I feel that card can only really indicate that your choice is probably to get with it and do it, regardless of whether you find you have the support. To some degree, sometimes you may be feeling like if you at least put in that good faith, I'm starting it, maybe others will finally move along. But that's not going to necessarily, help you out. You just know that whatever this is, someone's got to do it, and you feel like you have to make that decision to buck up to it.
All right, let's recap. So I'm going to add something to that. The Eight of Wands indicates reverse that either you're not being able to connect with people. You might be missing the mark on something because you've got so much to do. You've been scattering yourself all over the place, and you're tired, you're drained, it's exhausting, and you were maybe hoping for a little support from others here, or some connection from others to, keep you sane during this period. But there seems to be a lack of support right now, or even a validation about the fact that you have been carrying a heavy, you've been expending a lot of energy doing stuff without a lot of support.
You're unhappy because you feel like you've not met the mark, you've lost your focus, and you have not achieved certain goals. And with that next card, the Six of Wands.
Yep.
Yeah, it is the Six of Wands. You're feeling like there's no appreciation for this. And with that, nobody's going to offer anything that could be helpful. And so that's you. You're just resultantly feeling like you have nothing there.
And so with Temperance, you're feeling justified because everything seems out of balance now. You feel, like you're very exhausted and drained, and you need, all the stuff you've been doing, and you keep putting out, but you're really not getting anything in return to kind of. So there is an immoderation going on here.
Right. The scales are not balanced, and your feelings are justified. Whatever this was something that people were supposed to be a part of, or to have your back, or at least give you some good strokes, encouragement, and none of that happened, or not to the degree it needed to.
So how to turn that frown upside down is, I think here, just it's going to be rough go, but just keep doing this. Do it for yourself, and pace yourself more then, and say no to other projects that people might be throwing at you, or ask them, what are you willing to do along with me? If I take this on, how are you willing to support me? Or it's time to move away from all of this just for your own sanity and peace of mind. And if you do follow through and keep working at it, keep doing this hard stuff, then do it because you want to. Do it because it means something to you. Do it because you will feel good about yourself after you get it done.
I think that's the best way to look at that card there. And it really is just going to always come back to you, that you're the one that has to make that choice. Like I said earlier, it's always possible that maybe people will finally come along if they see you doing that. But regardless, you have to do it for yourself.
All right. Well, that's what we have for the water signs. Let's move on to our earth sign friends. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It's Capricorn, Mr. O. Capricorn.
Capricorn.
All right, that'll do. I should have wore your hat today. It would have matched what I'm wearing. No, he says.
Take it from one who Oberon.
It probably won't fit my head, my big head.
Well, there's always that. Later on this week, Banshee's going to join me for the emotional exchanges.
I sure am.
And
our special Valentine's emotional exchanges.
Yes.
Aww.
So get the skinny from her as well as from me. All right. Fire signs. What is or will we make? I'm sorry. Earth signs.
Earth signs.
What is or will be making you unhappy right now?
Ooh.
And it's judgment reversed.
Okay, Earth signs. Either you or someone else is being too hard on you. I think that there is some criticism, whether it's self-criticism or, some judgmental behavior by others that's really getting under your skin. Whether you got a bad performance review, bad grade at work, at school that you didn't feel you deserved, or, the way others are treating you, even in the romantic department, too judgy. Or it's you holding yourself back because you're hypercritical.
Some of the earth signs do have a tendency to be hypercritical. Not going to say who, but I do feel like this card is saying really somebody really has roughed up your feelings, even if it is yourself. And specifically, this goes to the idea about where you see yourself as a viable human being, as a part of society, as a person trying to be successful. This really can kind of hurt you that this opinion, and maybe it started with others, but now it's snowballed onto you, and it just creates a lot of negativity about yourself, no matter where it comes from.
Okay.
So, card 2, how will the earth signs be dealing with this? And it's the reversed 6 of Pentacles. Ooh.
Well,
you feel like you want to take your toys and go home. You sort of feel like that's it. You have nothing really to give anymore, or at least at this time. I mean, I don't think it's like holding a super grudge forever, but really, you're mostly wanting to retreat in certain ways, or to not even necessarily acknowledge others' good points, or points that just should be, touted once in a while too.
Well, when you said that, the first silly thing that came into my mind was no more F's to give.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Well, but okay, so how are you dealing with this is you are holding back. You are holding on instead of keeping a energy flow going here. You're unwilling to do it because of one of 2 reasons. Others have been hypercritical about what you've been doing, what you have been providing, what you have been dishing out, or you yourself are feeling hypercritical, and so now you're just pulling back. You're pulling back as opposed to keeping a nice even flow of energy moving.
If I didn't say better, this would sort of say like there's a shadow issue here that you need to think about. Yeah, it does sound like
that a little bit. It does. I can see that.
All right. So are the earth signs' feelings justified? It's the reversed 5 of Cups.
Well, no. I don't think they are, because I think you're taking, because obviously you're fooling yourself maybe, and you don't realize that there's opportunities here for you to grow and advance further. And you're just, you're not willing to maybe pursue them. I know it's reversed and it's saying, you're ready to move on, but I'm kind of feeling here that you're not. You're kicking those broken down cups down the road, as opposed to thinking out of the box in new ways of, handling your situation.
Maybe your feelings are justified, earth signs, because you really thought things should never have gotten to this point, or you really thought people were always emotionally warm to you, and so when you felt you were being snubbed or criticized, you really couldn't handle that, and your feelings are justified because you always expected to be treated the best, and now, of course, the reality is not so fast.
I'm going to have to think about that one a little more. I'm not satisfied with it, and I'm satisfied with everything else so far, so I will do it in the recap.
All right.
So,
how do we turn that frown upside down, earth signs?
Well, this is constructive.
Ooh.
Stop being overcritical of yourself. Stop believing the narrative that other people are are saying about you. Stop believing that. Free yourself from self-limiting feelings. And some of those self-limiting feelings, when I say that, also involve others. You're allowing others talk, to make you feel less than, or you're allowing your own internal talk to make you feel less than. Stop that. You are enough. You can handle the situation. You can get back on track with what you wanted to accomplish or do.
Right. I mean, in some ways, this could represent even the idea of rising above, the feeling of being criticized and stuff like that, and not so much acting like it doesn't matter, it didn't matter, but that you can rise above that, giving those clues or optics to others to say, no, it's not that, you hurt me and I know I must be better. It's by saying, I always knew I was better, and I'm going to change everyone's perceptions, including my own.
So let's recap this.
All right.
I feel here you're unhappy because you're stuck. You're kind of stuck in a rut. You're unwilling to make any changes or moves at this time because you've been treated badly by others, people who have been overcritical about what you do. So you're kind of like afraid to do anything, or you yourself are overly critical of yourself. And when we do that, when we start doing the self-criticism thing, we don't trust making changes or adjustments because we don't think we can handle it, that we're not good enough, we're not big enough, we're not able to handle it. So that's why we stay in a rut, or we stay in our comfort zone, or we stay in old ways of thinking because we don't believe we can change.
Wow, when you say it like that, it really kind of reaffirms what I was feeling about the need for some serious shadow work of some sort. It doesn't have to be, in depth, but it really is taking stock of what's really going on and owning some of this.
So you are holding back. You are hoarding, your talents, your resources, whatever it is, because you feel like they're not appreciated. People don't appreciate what you do, or you don't feel good about what you're doing. And so now you just want to hold back and stay in that little unproductive comfort zone of yours.
As a Scorpio, I kind of identify with this. So it is kind of, but we're talking about earth signs. Yeah. This is a self-defeating behavior. And, it's something that maybe you can nurture for a little bit, but eventually you got to kind of, process and get through it.
So are your feelings justified? I look at that 5 of Cups and I think to myself, well, you really want something more out of life, though. You really do. You want to go pursue new opportunities and stuff, but you're your own worst enemy here by holding yourself back and believing either other people's narratives or your own. And you're holding yourself back from exploring the new opportunities for growth that are out there.
Your feelings may not be justified because you seem to expect to always be in the winner's circle or the person who everyone loves the most. And that's just not realism for anyone.
And ultimately, how do you turn that frown upside down? By reawakening your power. Your personal power. You need to feel it. You need to understand that these are just words that are being tossed around. You don't have to live the narrative others want to assign to you. You don't have to live the narrative that those voices in your head are assigning to you either. You can rise above this. You can find that inner strength, that inner courage that you have. You have it. So release it.
Leave the cage that you created for yourself and put yourself in. No one else is there trying to keep you in that. It's really on you to open the door and leave.
Yep. So good luck with that.
All right.
Well, we've got one more reading to do.
Ooh.
It's the world. What's making the world unhappy, and how
what is it?
world, how in the world can we fix it?
We're going to help, or at least give us an idea.
Just remember, Bly's crystal ball says the future looks bright. Even if we can't feel it right now. And that's why I bring Bly to the show. All right. I thought I cut him last time. Oh, wait, I'm shuffling first. You shuffled?
Yeah.
I'm cutting again, maybe? There.
What a world, what a world.
Ah.
What will be making the world unhappy right now?
Huh.
Well, that's going to be hard. Three of Swords reversed. Maybe we should turn the other way. No.
No, because it's still there. You know, what's making us unhappy is that we're trying to heal. We're trying to find a way, a positive way forward in a world that's constantly fighting with one another, and there's so much division and separation. It's hard to make that heart whole again, but we are trying. It just seems like many people, you know, those that haven't given up are really struggling because it just seems like, you know, we keep losing more ground rather than gaining it.
The Three of Swords reversed says hearts were broken but now are trying to heal. And so that's this reality is we realize many of us are incredibly heartbroken, whether it's on that personal level or the collective level of the world.
Yeah.
And we want to heal it. Are we able to?
So,
how are we dealing with this unhappiness now in the world?
we're sad. It's the Queen of Cups reversed. We're really emotional and also emotionally wrought right now. We're very torn. You know, some of us see, you know, we have neighbors that we can't get along with. We have people in our communities we can't get along with. We can't get along with other countries, you know, and it's really kind of almost like a virus that's been infecting us all on an emotional level.
The Queen of Cups reverse sort of represents a roiling sea of emotions.
And couple that with the emotions here, you know, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and so there are so many expressions that are possible by people who come from different cultures or beliefs or ideologies that it's just a stew
Oh my goodness, I like what you're saying here. Go on.
It's just a stew of possible under or overreactions, and none of them are necessarily what we could actually try to come to together with. It's almost impossible when you think about the world. How could it ever really come together and heal itself?
Well, when everybody allows their emotions to rule, then it's more likely you get into this thinking of, it's my way, you know, it's my way of doing things. It's my religion that matters. It's my race that matters. It's my country that matters. It's my community or my personal needs that matter. And if everybody adopts those kinds of attitudes, it's really hard to come up with a global solution.
Card 3. Why are the Earth's feelings justified? And keep in mind that we acknowledge that not everybody in the world may feel exactly the same way about all this. So this is a gestalt to some degree of why the world's feelings may be justified.
So why are the world's feelings justified? Not Earth signs the world. The Lovers reversed. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a power card there. I think it's justified because we feel, you know, a lot of us feel again, that everybody is making bad choices. And the problem is, too, we're being a little bit judgmental here, right? Because we feel that our way is the only way, obviously. So everybody else must be making bad choices.
I love that. I was going to say that, so you beat me to it. But that's clearly what it is that when we see the lovers reversed, we are feeling that, or the world feels that everybody is just doing what they think makes them happy. And guess what? Sometimes this amounts to a whole lot of codependence. There are so many people
Yes.
who depend on certain things in the world to maintain their own sense of superiority or their place wherever it is, and it's just going to be too hard for everybody to really have one feeling here. Everybody mostly feels it's just a big stew again, like I said.
Well, and again, you've got a card called the Lover's card. You've got the Queen of Cups. You've got the Three of Swords. This is like an emotional roiling, cauldron here. So how do we turn that frown?
Is that the nuclear bomb card? No. Sorry, bad
joke. It's the Hermit reversed. He has a torch, not a nuclear bomb. But
I love it.
Why? Do tell me.
Okay, because the thing is that this is not about going into our own philosophies, into our own caves, into our own sense of, let's just be calm and not necessarily interact with the world. Kind of like maybe what we see one of the strategies is sort of pulling everybody away from the global thing. This is saying, no, we have to get out of our caves. We have to engage with a public, with a global public.
We have to get out of our tribes, our clans, our social media groups that we glom onto. We need to share our wisdom with others and let the chips fall where they may. Because I feel here that everybody needs to start opening their minds and allowing their higher wisdom to rule here, and to be able to listen to others and add to your light. I mean, you're carrying one torch. Everybody in the world has a torch, right? They have a lantern of light and wisdom to share with you. And when the world is reversed, when the Hermit is reversed, our world is reversed right now, but when the Hermit is reversed, that means getting back together again, coming out and being a part of the world and not a part from the world. A part of the world, not apart from the world. It's time for people to start pulling back together and recognizing their common humanity, their shared interests, and share their knowledge, skills, talents with everyone.
When you were talking about the candle that everyone has, I thought about the song by Melanie, Lay Down, Down, the candles in the rain. Beautiful song about people coming together. And of course, she performed that unknowingly.
Candles in the rain? Or Candles in the Wind?
No, Candles in the Rain. The song's called Lay Down, parentheses, Candles in the Wind. And you'll know that song if I play it. She actually went to Woodstock thinking she was doing something else, and she ended up becoming a star for decades after that. She did a number of beautiful songs. Melanie, Lay Down, Candles in the Rain.
It's Candles in the Rain. Okay. I don't know.
Lay down, lay it all down.
I'll look it up.
You know the song.
I do know the song probably, but it's not clicking right now. Let's recap, shall we?
Well, you don't hear that one on oldies radio, that's for sure. Let's recap.
So, we got a lot of emotion here.
The world is really messed up.
The world is just, trying. People really want to try to find a way to heal. Try to find a way to heal. But
maybe that's why we're unhappy, because we all have different ways and we can't figure out the one way for everyone, if there is.
Yeah. And so with the Queen of Cups reversed here, how are we dealing with this? We're still operating on our own hurts, our own emotional levels, and we're not we're not recognizing or validating others' pains as well. And so I feel here with this Queen of Cups reversed, we are all over the place right now emotionally.
The Queen of Cups reversed could also be saying, too, that some of our reactions to this will not be appropriate emotionally, to say the least.
Right. There'll be outbursts, and we see it. We see it all the time. So are our feelings justified? Well, yes, because we know that people are making some very bad choices out there to the point of unethical behavior. This is a card they often say of vice versus virtue. It's reversed. And I feel here that people are not feeling the love right now. They're feeling more, they're making bad choices based on, anger or hatred as opposed to love.
People may realize that all of us have various weights upon us, codependencies, but we're all at different levels of trying to remove those chains.
So, people of the world, it's time we really pull out of the tribes, the clans, the groups, the hate groups, the whatever groups you belong to, and start belonging to the group of humanity. We have common interests. We share a common ground, the earth. We share this earth together. We need to tap into our higher wisdom and take our candle and merge it with others so that, I know that's going to sound so woke and it's going to sound so, so aghast to people who want to be separatist.
Too bad.
We're not meant to be separatist. We are a world. And even though we can keep our own individuality, if that's what you're afraid of, we need to share this world with everyone. That's the bottom line.
All right.
Good luck with that.
So, thank you for watching the Unhappy Hour. Now, go home and try to make yourself happy.
Come to our happy hour show and get a happy message every Saturday, usually at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes there's a time change. So, but good luck with this fourth quarter period, especially for the world. And we will see you when the moon turns to the next fourth quarter.
In about a month.
In March. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.